Welcome out tonight to Eagle Field on the campus of Pensacola Christian College. In the commentary box tonight, my name is Eric Flanagan. I'll be with you tonight. Alongside me is Tyler Ebert, and we're looking forward to a really good game between Trinity Baptist College and Pensacola Christian College. Tyler, what do you think are going to be some keys for the Eagles winning this game tonight?
Well, Eric, I think over the past couple games, you've seen the Eagles kind of struggle in the second half, and I think that's mostly due to the stamina issues on this team. We play a great first half, fantastic, and both of the past games we've seen us go into halftime with either a 1-0 lead or tied, but we've scored a goal. We need to find that goal in the second half, and we've got to push on to that. If we can find that goal in the second half, I think we'll do well. Another thing is our midfield. We have all the players, all the skills that are able to run that midfield efficiently. We just have to keep possession. If we're able to do that, I think we'll be able to push past them. And along with that is our strikers actually taking our chance. We haven't had too many shots in the past couple games, so we're going to need a few more of those to actually to challenge Trinity Baptist here. Speaking of Trinity Baptist, what do you think they have for this game coming?
Well, I think it's important when looking at our opponents tonight to do a little comparison between the teams to get kind of an idea of what we're going to see tonight. The last two games for each of the teams, the Eagles, the last two games, they played two very difficult opponents. They played really well in the first half, but then struggled a little bit in the second half. So they're coming off two losses, both 3-1, against really good teams, and there's positives that certainly can be taken from that. But nevertheless, two losses in the last two games. The Trinity Baptist Eagles are coming off of two wins. So I think that'll be important, especially in the first few minutes of the game. I think setting in a pace. I think Trinity Baptist are coming off a high. The Eagles are trying to fix some things and put some things together. So I think that's going to affect the game. But also, if you have to look at the last two games that the Eagles played, the PCC Eagles, they were playing out of conference, and so they're in our conference, the NCCAA Division II. We are ranked number 1. Trinity is in the same conference, ranked number 6. So it's difficult sometimes take stock in rankings and how they're done and all that stuff. But technically, on paper, the number ranked team should be able to easily beat the number 6 team. But I think we're going to see a really solid game tonight. This same fixture last year, it was 2-2 at the end of normal time. We went into overtime. The Eagles won it really at the last second, the PCC Eagles, and it was a phenomenal game. The atmosphere was just absolutely, there was so much tension in the air, so much excitement, and I'm really looking forward to seeing a game like that tonight. If it's anything like the game we saw last year, this same fixture, it will be a really solid game. And so we are about to go out to the starting lineups, and we'll return for the starting whistle.
Official sports medicine provider for Pensacola Christian College. Starting tonight for the visiting Eagles from Trinity Baptist College. Number 1, Kyle Hall. Number 2, Gene Hiller.
Number 5, Garrett Treese. Number 6, Milius Calixto. Number 9, John Grimaldo. Number 17, Clayton McDaniel. Number 20, Lawrence Malilius. Number 21, Alvaro Poveda. Number 22, Joshua Briones. Number 25, Shalov DeLance. Number 26, Zane Downey. The Trinity Baptist Eagles are led by Coach Ellie G. And now, your Pensacola Christian College Eagles. Starting tonight, number 1, a sophomore from Mansfield, Ohio, Jake McClellan. Number 3, a senior from Springfield, Tennessee, Micah Hatcher. Number 5, a junior from Milton, Florida, Tim Yefimov. Number 6, a senior from Tijuana, Mexico, Bobby Walker. Number 7, a senior from Edinburgh, Texas, Adrian Torres. Number 8, a sophomore from Rochester, New York, Paul Stewart. Number 9, a senior from Baltimore Park, California, Christian Reynosa. Number 11, a senior from Curacao, Josh Huerta. Number 12, a sophomore from Ashland, Ohio, Nick Stanbridge. Number 15, a junior from Flint, Michigan, Travis Rose. Number 28, a senior from Priest, Indiana, Taylor Jensen. The Eagles are led by Coach Joe Lewis, assistant coaches Matthias Canada and Ryan Kennedy.
Officiating for tonight's game are John Sowers, Rachel Cutts,
and Coral Gubler. Please stand as we are led in prayer by Mr. Josh Burdick.
Let's pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight, and we thank you so much for the many blessings that you give to us each day. I pray tonight that you be with these young men as they play soccer. I pray tonight for safety, and I ask, Lord, that there be a good display of sportsmanship. I pray that in all things tonight, that you would be glorified. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by James Strasser. Christian College Athletic Association is committed to the true spirit of competition and upholding the 4 core values of the game plan for life: love, integrity, faith, and excellence. We ask that each participant, official, and spectator join us in exhibiting these Christ-like characteristics and help create a positive environment in which to enjoy today's competition.
And we're back for the kickoff of the PCC Eagles versus Trinity Baptist Eagles tonight. For both teams, probably the most important game they have played yet this season. Really going to set the tone for the rest of the season. A really solid opponent for both of them to face. And I think the first 5 minutes are really going to set the tempo here. See who can assert their dominance, who can start calmly, who can start with energy. I'll be looking to see the high press from the Eagles, just as we've seen the past couple games.
Yeah, that first 5 minutes is going to be important for every game of the season. I think the way we've been playing the first 5 minutes, the Eagles have come out strong in most of these games. So I look to them to do the same here, the PC Eagles, that is.
I think we're probably going to see the refereeing has been in the past two home games that we've seen here on Eagle Field. The refereeing has been very similar, really tight game, really tightly refereed game, both games.
Yeah, and I think in this game the referee understands that this is a game between two rivals, and he's going to be looking. He should be looking to retain control over it and look to show tight control over this early. Just a bit wide as Paul Stewart isn't able to find anybody in the midfield.
Yeah, I think tonight Paul Stewart, he's going to be a very integral player for the Eagles. He is every game. He played really well in the past couple of games, minus a few stamina issues. I thought he played really well, controlled the ball well, sometimes holding on a bit too long, but he played really well, and I'm looking forward to seeing that tonight. Dangerous moments there, dangerous moments for the PCC Eagles just in the first few moments. Opportunity for number 12 for Trinity Baptist, Taurian Lee.
Yeah, and Taylor Jensen's going to be integral in this game once again. The past two games he's played phenomenal. He's let a couple in, but you can't expect everybody to be perfect every time. But the saves that he has made have been very impressive, and I look to do just like that one. I look to him to do more of the same of that tonight. His reactions are on point. They have been for the past few weeks. That's why he won Defensive Player of the Week a couple weeks ago. I don't mind seeing that ball go forward because that at least shows that we have an idea of where we want to play it to in an outlet. And he was in plenty of space. It was a little off, but it shows that we have an idea of getting forward. We have an idea of playing the ball into space. Even if we're not quite there yet, we'll get better at doing that as the game goes on, and that'll improve, which is one thing I'm excited to see tonight.
Some strong pressure by number 22 for Trinity Baptist. I think we're seeing Trinity Baptist. They're starting off on the front foot, and I think they're settling into a groove. I think that's something that the PCC Eagles are going to have to interrupt tonight. If we're going to have some success tonight, I think they're going to have to interrupt that flow that they've started off this game with. Great work there by Christian. Brave stop there by Taylor Jensen. Always a difficult call when you see that forward coming, the ball's in between you.
Yeah, and if you don't make just the right call on that, that's an easy goal for the other team. So good job on coming out on that one, Taylor. Some good play here in the midfield. This ball goes out to Josh Esbertha. Looking for somebody. Finds a man out on the wing, and it goes back to Josh. This is the crucial moment. We're in the final third. We got to find somebody. That's one thing the Eagles are going to have to work on. They haven't quite been able to do that past couple of games, and it's hurt our chances as we've only had a few shots in each of the games. So once we do make it into that final third, we're going to have to pick our passes just right, or even just take a shot on goal. And that's one thing that we're going to have to focus on tonight.
Yeah, I agree. There's a foul there on Nick Standridge. Always a difficult play. Boots not too high. Anytime the cleats are going to be hitting another player, though, referees are very sensitive towards that. Yeah, as you were talking about just a minute ago there, Tyler. Beautiful ball by Adrian Torres. We'll see if Josh Berta can run it down. Coming into the box, right on the byline.
Not much you can do there as a little heavy touch, but fantastic run by Josh and an even better ball by Adrian. Just unlucky that he wasn't able to find anybody there, but that's good to see that out of them, show some promise for attacking through this game. Little off touch there, ball goes out of play for a throw in to Trinity.
Yeah, as you're going through any game, you're going to have to decide, sometimes you might be resistant to just pumping the ball up the field. And if you do that every time, certainly there's a good reason to be resistant to that. But, sometimes you can be too slow in the buildup. And so I think that's really good for the Eagles, especially when you're trying to throw off the balance of a team that has started out on the front foot. Just trying to get it up the field, trying to have a swift counterattack. Oftentimes, counterattacks are some of the deadliest moves in soccer as far as scoring a goal. Ball over the top, not really intended for anybody. Good distribution. Paul Stewart in the midfield once again. Good movement. A ball over the side to Bobby Walker.
I think even right now, one thing we were looking at the Eagles in the past couple games is they weren't really having anybody in the middle to come back for a pass to. And even in the first 7 minutes so far, you've seen a lot more of them move to the middle. Ball comes to Paul Stewart. He takes a shot, deflected off a Trinity player, and he plays it out wide to Micah Hatcher.
Dangerous ball in. Dangerous moments for Trinity Baptist, just trying to get the ball out. Great passage of play for the PCC Eagles, getting chances. That's really was something that was maybe a little more difficult to come by in the past 2 games, is turning that little bit of possession into actual opportunities on goal. It's really good to see in the first just few minutes of the game here, the Eagles getting shots off. Offsides on number 9 for Trinity Baptist. Juan Grimaldo, we've seen him before. We saw him last year playing in the same fixture. Somebody really to watch, a lot of pace, scores a lot of goals. And the Eagles will have to really keep an eye on him tonight. I would say especially Adrian Torres, the rock of that defense back there in the center D, really has to be paying attention to the runs and respect the pace.
Yeah, that's going to be a focal point for both defenses because both teams have a very, very pacey front core of attackers.
Just hoping that Paul Stewart can see number 3, Micah Hatcher, out here on the wing all by himself. Trying to be threaded in there by Paul Stewart. Good opportunity. Number 12, Nick Standridge, just trying to get to the ball. Good to see that effort. You see the Eagles, they really have turned it around. In the first couple minutes, it looked like Trinity Baptist was on the front foot. Now the Eagles, they've calmed down. I think that's part of what we were talking about at the beginning of the game, before the game started, that the Eagles, they're coming off 2 losses. Trinity Baptist, they're coming off 2 wins. That is going to affect, especially the first few minutes, just levels of confidence are going to be different.
Right, and I think one thing we've seen is the Eagles have they've pushed a little bit to one side when pressuring Trinity. So that you could say that's a bad thing because then they're opening up another side. But the more pressure they put on Trinity towards the side, they can seal them. The more pressure means they might have a bad pass, Trinity that is, which will lead to an interception, hopefully a counterattack for Pensacola Christian. Referee calls advantage and play on as ball gets played back to Adrian Torres. Out left to Christian Reynosa. Looks for a good shot, just a bit wide. Go out for a goal kick to Trinity.
Yeah, that's good to see. That's good to see. Shots eventually, it's important to get those shots on goal, understand, but it's really good to be getting those shots. Then you have this feeling as a team that you're creating something, that it is coming, a goal's coming, opportunities are coming. Solid work, good win there by Paul Stewart in the midfield. Something that was kind of difficult, lacking perhaps in the first game that they played here at home against Point University, but we can see a lot more enthusiasm, a lot more effort here tonight. Really good to see some marked improvement since just a couple games ago.
And I think any game you should come into saying, yeah, we can win this game, but if you're going to have games that you think, okay, this may not be a game we win, that would have been our last 2 games. Eagles are coming into this game knowing that this is a game that they can and should win against a lower ranked team. As much as that may not mean right now, they are still ranked lower for a reason. We've played good opponents. We've played well against good opponents. So they're coming into this game with some bit of confidence, knowing that this is a game they can and should win. So that is going to help them throughout this game.
Great ball there by Christian, just threading the needle. Out to Paul Stewart, playing in defensive position. Jake McClellan looking for the ball inside. Bobby Walker looking for the shot. Really good shot there, and the rebound, and it goes out for a corner. Really positive stuff from the Eagles. Good shot by Bobby Walker right down to the bottom right-hand corner. Just what you want to see as an Eagles fan.
Yeah, this is something you haven't seen out of the Eagles much, these shots outside of the 18. Ball played in just a bit short, but we're able to retain possession as Micah Hatcher gets a hold of it and plays it back. But yeah, those shots outside the 18 are exactly what we want to see going forward.
Absolutely, Tyre. I think we're seeing some evidence of some work by Coach Lewas. We can see that they're taking shots very quickly. Great shot there by Nick Standridge. They're taking their opportunities. I think that's absolutely what they've been hearing in team talks, in practice. Guys, we need to create more opportunities. You can definitely see the effects of those talks throughout this first few minutes of this game. Micah Hatcher looking for a ball inside. The ball comes in, but stopped by number 5 for for Trinity Baptist. Great takedown by Travis Rose. An errant pass. Time to reset for the Eagles.
You also see our attackers being a lot more aggressive to the Trinity Baptist defense whenever they do get the ball. Especially Nick Standridge on this last passenger play, you saw him body up that defender and actually win the ball back. So that another positive note that we see along with these shots that we're taking.
Absolutely. It takes that passion, takes that a little bit of aggression. It's something that's hard to keep up throughout a game, but that's really important. Just the slightest mistake, you won't know if the opponent is going to make a mistake if you don't give that pressure.
Bit of miscommunication there in the midfield. I think Jake McClellan wanted that ball through a little bit more.
Great tracking back there by Christian. Solid work. Nice save there by Taylor Jensen. A good opportunity taken by Trinity Baptist, number 5 for them. Garrett, it's very difficult if, that ball's bouncing. You often wonder, should I take it? Should I not take it? Oftentimes the striker will, take an opportunity, that half chance, where a midfielder, he's probably going to look for something better. Something good to see.
I think you're seeing a little bit of respect, in a sense, from both offenses. Both offenses are taking a lot of shots outside the 18, and that's a little bit of a nod towards each team's defense, as both teams are kind of realizing that it's going to be a little bit harder to work that ball in. We're going to have to take some shots outside. So both teams have to keep that up if either one of them wants a chance at a win here.
Dangerous moments here. The ball through to number 17, Micah Hatcher tracking back. Probably going to be a foul right here on the edge of the box. A really dangerous position. I'd expect perhaps to see a card here, at least a talking to. Yeah, we can see right now the yellow card coming out of the pocket of the head ref, Micah Hatcher. Really, it's a foul that, you don't like fouls that are on purpose. But sometimes if you have to choose between a foul and the other team getting, a big chance, an opportunity where they probably should be putting in the net, sometimes those are judgment calls you have to make. Sometimes you have to take one for the team. Committing a foul that you know is, you're not trying to hurt anybody, but you're probably going to get a yellow card for it.
Dangerous area here for Trinity Baptist, as it's looking like number 17, Clayton McDaniel, is going to take this one. He'll be most likely looking to put this over the wall in the left side of the goal. Taylor's got his wall lined up. Referee blows his whistle. A good shot. Slight tip over the bar by Taylor Jensen, called by the referee. Will go out for another corner. Is number 9, Juan Grimaldo, goes out there to take the corner.
Yeah, we can see that in watching this, I would say that Trinity Baptist have definitely improved in their heading ability. They have a few tall players, good headers of the ball on their team. Last year, I don't remember seeing much of a threat in the air in the games in which we played them. We can see definitely tonight they've really been looking for that.
That ball by Jake McClelland off his head was perfect back to Nick Standridge, and that passage of play right there by the Eagles is exactly what you want to see. Playing it back, don't necessarily have to play forward all the time as Trinity Baptist comes back on the counterattack. Looking to play the ball forward, isn't quite able to. Micah Hatcher with the interception.
The Eagles have really done a good job tonight, especially Travis Rose and Micah Hatcher in the defense, looking for, watching the eyes of that attacker, seeing where he's going to be putting the ball, and trying to get in between there. Good win by Christian out there on the wing. The ball goes out for a throw-in for the Eagles. Time for them to reset, get reorganized.
Bit of retaliation there from Josh. He was getting kind of beat up over there on the sideline. I don't think the referee saw anything wrong with that. But Josh definitely did. So a little bit rough of a tackle. Not something you want to see, but referee just gives him a quick word, and we continue play.
Taylor Jensen looking at the ball, grabbing it down. He's been a great player for the Eagles so far this year. If you had to pick a most valuable player for the first few games of the season, Taylor Jensen right up there. He's saved a penalty in the game against Point University, had some terrific saves against Faulkner University and Point University. Played really well. Hopefully, you hope your keeper doesn't have to make those saves, but it's great to know that the person you have back there is capable of doing so. It's that another safety net, if you will.
Right, and I think the other player you could also throw up for that award, if we had one for this season, would also be Nick Standridge. He's had 3 goals and an assist in the 4 games we've played. So both of those players, opposite sides of the pitch, but both doing the exact same amount of work for the Pensacola Christian College Eagles here. I look to both of them to be big difference makers in this game.
Great work by Christian, just getting pulled back as he won the battle there. And just a minute ago, we saw a terrific decision by Taylor Jensen coming out. Juan Grimaldo, number 9, coming out on the right wing. Taylor Jensen coming out, sliding, winning the ball, being able to put it out of play. Just like we were talking about last game against Faulkner University, so often we're seeing sweeper keepers, which is kind of a new something that's new to the game of soccer. Keepers playing further up the field, being much more willing to go out and to, cut off a ball that's coming in as a through ball to a striker that's coming in. Great work in that role by Taylor Jensen.
Bit of an error here as the Trinity Baptist Eagles get the ball back. Ball played across just wide. An unfortunate shot there for Trinity Baptist. That probably should have been a goal.
Absolutely. He'll be reliving that. If they don't pull off a win tonight, he will be reliving that for a few nights to come. Right in front of the goal. Great work by his teammate, number 22 for Trinity Baptist. Just final touch, not quite there. Dodged a bullet by the Eagles. Good work there by Josh Esperta. Really hard working. He's been on both sides of the pitch. If you saw just a few minutes ago, he was over there out on the left side. Now he's all the way out on the right side, working hard. Micah Hatcher's going to have to be very careful. Already going on a yellow card. Another pretty obvious foul. He's going to have to be very careful as the night progresses. I wouldn't be surprised in the next few minutes if just for his own safety, you don't want a player getting a red. You want to stay far away from that. If Coach Lewas sees that he thinks it's getting to that place, I wouldn't be surprised to see Micah Hatcher coming off. Player already warming up.
Adrian talking to his team. That's what you like to see out of the captain. Just telling everybody to calm down. Ball's been on this side of the half for quite a while. Just looking to calm down, maybe find an outlet, get something going. Even if it's just a few counterattacks going, that's all we're looking for. You can win a game with only 30% possession. You don't have to have the ball the whole time. It's just about quality, not quantity. Something you'll hear every now and then in many aspects of life.
Absolutely, soccer definitely true in that scenario. You have to create chances with the possession you have. You can have possession all day, and if it doesn't turn into chances, it's really worthless. Remember watching a few years back, Champions League final, Bayern Munich versus Milan. Milan barely had any possession, but easily won the game because they had the better attack. They could create real chances with the little possession that they did have. Great read there by Adrian Torres, just watching. Great opportunity here. Nick Standridge looking to his right to Josh Esberta. Passes the ball through Josh Esberta, but it's offsides. Such a difficult situation. You have to be looking at the line, but really solid. That's exactly what we're talking about. The Eagles need to create real chances, and that's an opportunity right there. I see positives in that. That's great, but it's something you have to watch. You have to think, okay, we got that opportunity, but you can't lose those opportunities because you're consistently offside. So just something to pay attention to in the future.
Right, with those counterattacks, you definitely don't want to make a mistake there and then end up giving the other team the counterattack off of yours.
Right. I agree. Once you're attacking, the moment you lose the ball is the most dangerous moment because their player gets it, distribution, fast move down the field. And we can see just like we suspected, number 3 Micah Hatcher coming off, number 14 Ben Grover coming on to replace him. Just trying to be safe. You really want to keep a player who's on a yellow away from a red card. And just like we mentioned the last couple of games, the way the rules are at this level of the game, there's no re-entry in the first half. So if a player goes off in the first half, they can't re-enter the game also in the first half. They can come back on in the second, but they will be finished for the first half. There's still 22 minutes left, so we'll see how that affects the game, not having Micah in there for the last 22 minutes of this first half. Speculative cross there into Trinity Baptist, trying to get it into number 22 for Trinity Baptist, Joshua Briones.
Pensacola wins a free kick in the midfield as Adrian plays it over to Christian Reynoso, who plays it across.
Great opportunity there. Nick Standridge just a whisker away from putting in the first goal tonight. A great touch by Jake McClellan, just flicking on that really good cross from Christian. And I think that's where the Eagles are going to find some joy tonight, is in that direct style of attacking. I think, the possession, slow build-up, I don't think that's where it's at tonight. I really think they need to have that fast, penetrating offense.
Two players jousting in the box. The referee's going to tell them to get off of each other so we can get going with play.
Right off the crossbar, and it's still right in there. It's in the back of the net. It's in the back of the net. It looks like Josh Hesberta, number 11, with the goal for the Eagles, 1-0. As they go up, the number 1 seed putting in the first goal tonight on their home field. Great persistence there. The first header off the crossbar, thought it was going in. The persistence to get that second ball, put it past the keeper. Great work by the Eagles tonight.
We see number 23, Jesse Dunbar, come on for Tim Yefimov. Also, Trinity Baptist does have a player down in the box. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe a head collided, but we do have a player down over here.
Yeah, that's a difficult situation when the ball comes into the box. Everybody's jumping. People come down. Your cleat can come down on somebody who's fallen. Your elbows are flying. They're up in the air. They could hit somebody. We just hope that the player for Trinity Baptist is all right. And we can see at this level of play and really throughout the whole game of soccer an increased awareness of the safety of the players. Immediately when a player's down, you're seeing trainers immediately out on the field, medical staff going out, looking at the player, checking them out, making sure there's certainly no concussion, no concerns about the player continuing if they are going to continue. We're just hoping that the player for Trinity Baptist is able to continue in this game. You always hate to see a player come off, especially in a game that's going to be a tight game. We can see the player standing up right now, number 20 for Trinity Baptist. Walking off the field in his own strength, always good to see. And as we've spoken about in previous nights, there is no stoppage time at this level of the game like you'd normally expect in many soccer games. But anytime there's a stoppage of play, the referee will look over to the people who are keeping time and tell them to stop the clock. So that time is not lost. It's just simply handled in a different way than most people are used to seeing in a soccer game.
Player coming on is number 16, Caleb Vila. As the referee restarts play, Trinity Baptist gets it going again.
As we've said in previous games with the Eagles, these next 5 minutes, extremely important for them. They really need to, establish a pattern here. It's so difficult. This has been a really open game. Both teams have had, real chances on goal. And so, you really want to prevent, you just put one in and then going and losing that advantage in the next few minutes. That's something that really is going to kill your confidence. Good decision there by Travis Rose, and it comes out to number 23.
We've seen the Eagles score one in each of the first halves in the past 2 games, so that the second half is going to be very important to see if we can continue that. And even in this first half, see if we can't get a second one to further establish our dominance in this game.
Yeah, I think especially considering this is a conference game. This the result of this game truly does matter in terms of the season. Great win there by Nick Standards. The ball up to Jake McClellan. Difficult, you have to keep that triangle, but once again, just another errant pass there. Great move by Bobby Walker as he moves down the left wing. You see a ball coming in here right now. Great opportunity. You can see the Eagles one after another creating opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Great work there by Jake McClellan into Nick Standridge. Just the flicking, the glancing header, difficult to get enough power on it to make any real threat against the goal, but positive for sure.
Christian Reynosa reading that ball very well, anticipating that run, was able to get there. No Trinity Baptist player really challenging it, but if there were, Christian was there and would have been able to get to it. Eagles looking just to gain control as we do. Paul plays it over to Bobby Walker, who's able to, or unable, excuse me, to keep it in bounds. It'll be a Trinity Baptist throw.
Good work there out on the left wing by Bobby Walker. He's played well in the 2 games that we've watched here at home. He's played very well, really good on the ball. Nice to see, a little footwork, a little flair in the team, and really close to keeping the ball in there.
Crowd definitely thought that was a throw-in for Pensacola Christian, but referee saw it otherwise. And crowd doesn't run this game. It's the referee that's out here with the whistle. Trinity Baptist just looking to gain a bit of control here in the midfield and a little bit on defense. That's the pressure I was talking about earlier. The more pressure we get on them leads to mistakes, and they kick it out. Referee apparently saw a glance there off of I believe Bobby, who was challenging him. It'll go out for a Trinity Baptist throw.
Yeah, that is difficult to see. That's the other side of the field where we are in the box tonight. So that's very difficult for us to see the contact there. But you just have to trust that the right call is being made. Great work there by Paul Stewart, just drawing the foul. He does such a good job there in the center mid for being. He's not the biggest player, and certainly he would admit that. But he's able to play in the midst of a position that is mainly dominated by large players. The center mid position, and able to hold his own, able to draw the foul when a larger player is on his back. Really solid work. We see it once again there. A little slip in ball. Number 6, Bobby Walker out on the wing. The ball should come in. And he wins a corner. Good work by Bobby there out on the left wing. You're hoping to slide that ball in, but winning a corner, equally important.
Coming in for your Eagles, number 22, Paul Justiniano.
See the Eagles making a substitution here. Paul Justiniano, number 22, coming in for Josh Gisberta. We can see only 16 minutes left in the half. Probably just giving Josh a little bit of rest. He's worked hard. The ball in from Paul Stewart, a good ball. So close, but I think the referee saw a foul there in the box. Lots of pushing, lots of shoving, lots of grabbing. Yeah, I think that's a really good move by Coach Lewas. You can see in the past 2 games, admittedly they struggled with some stamina. So key players, moving them out a little bit sooner. I think we're seeing a difference from the other game. I don't think we saw very many subs at this point in the other 2 games here at home. Great win there by Adrian Torres. Critical tackle.
And you don't see a ton of subs coming out on defense, but having played some defense myself, you want to keep that defensive core together, because knowing the player next to you and understanding it is crucial. A great ball put through there by Nick Stearns. Unable to get there, Jake McClellan is, but ball gets kicked out of play for a Pensacola Christian throw-in.
You can see a cheeky little attempt there by Nick Standridge. Just, sometimes you see the keeper, he stepped out just a little bit, and that's a difficult chance to take, chipping it over the keeper, especially, 25, close to 30 yards out where Nick was. But when you pull it off, it's beautiful.
substitution for Trinity Baptist as Yolermans Hilaire comes on for Clayton McDaniel. Small section of the crowd getting really into this. I think they were very excited about Paul. Paul is commanding this midfield. Slight mistouch, but he's dominating this midfield. Just able to dribble around players, which is really opening up a lot of opportunities for the Eagles here.
Yeah, you can see so often it's really common to see Paul get the ball with his back facing the goal and able to turn. You know, that's something difficult to do in soccer. Oftentimes you try to play the ball the direction you're facing because it is so difficult to keep the ball and make the turn. See a foul there on number 6, Bobby Walker. Him getting just, blocked as the ball goes through.
This is a dangerous place for Pensacola Christian too. We have plenty of guys who are able to put a shot like this on target. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not they have somebody go for a shot on goal, or if they'll try to chip this towards the back post for someone to maybe make a run in and put a ball in with their head.
Yeah, I think the coaches for Pensacola Christian they saw the yellow card that was given to Micah earlier, kind of looking to see, similar foul, similar situation, but no dice. Would have been offsides for sure. Trinity Baptist doing a good job right when the ball was struck, just moving up. But positive stuff for the Eagles. Opportunity created.
Regardless of that offsides, that was a phenomenal save by the Trinity Baptist goalkeeper there. Able to just get in front of that ball.
Absolutely, it's so difficult to do.
Ball played out wide for Trinity Baptist as they're looking to put a cross in. They got people there. Kick straight at Adrian. He's able to play it out.
You can see great numbers. If he can see the ball over the top, number 12, Nick Standridge, almost by himself, trying to work his way through. An opportunity to shoot, perhaps. Just plays it out to the wing. Bobby Walker, once again, the ball a little strong, but he should be able to get a ball in. The ball comes in. Great opportunity just to the right of the right post to the goal. Great opportunities created by the Eagles here. Really positive.
16, Riley Buchalski. Number 17, Emerson.
Two players
Rankin.
coming on for the Eagles as Riley Buchalski comes on and Emerson Rankin comes off. Two players coming off, I believe, are Bobby Walker and Paul Stewart. Just saving them for the second half as we only have roughly 11 and a half minutes left.
Yeah, I think we're definitely seeing some conscious decisions, in light of the first two games. You said they struggled with stamina, but we can see some key players being rested with just a few minutes left in this first half, trying to extend that stamina as much as possible.
Eagles are doing a great job almost double teaming people on this sideline. It pressures them, and Trinity Baptist did a good job the Trinity Baptist player, did a good job dribbling through them, but you like to see that from Pensacola. Just closing that gap, making them run through them if that's their only option. Because if they can't do that, they're either going to kick the ball out of play or they're going to make a mistake that hopefully we can get an interception with.
You can see a lot of pressure there from Juan Grimaldo. Maybe a little frustration coming out at the scoreline.
Touches are a little heavy right now, but that's just a minor point right now. The amount of passes that we've actually played through that have been productive massively outweigh the few mistakes that we have made.
Absolutely great work, Jake McClellan. Really being a powerful force in this first half. Lots of energy, a really pacey player. I think he's really given some problems down on the left side, down through the center for Trinity Baptist.
One thing I think that might help Pensacola in the next few minutes, as we just hit 10 minutes left in the half, is playing the ball a little bit more on the wings. Taylor does a good job of keeping that inbounds. Plays it middle. Fortunate giveaway. Great save by Taylor Jensen as he just tips that over the bar. That was a fantastic shot by Trinity. Ball goes off for the corner. But we see us playing a lot of balls through the middle, and Trinity have a defensive midfielder sitting back who's just able to stop those little through balls. If we're able to play it out towards the side a little bit more and have a few more crosses, or even just have somebody cut inside, I think we'll find a little bit more success through that. But through the bit of the first half that we have gone through, I think there's plenty of positives to take away from this first half.
Right. Yeah. It's always better to lose the ball out on the wing. You know, if you're in your half and you're losing it in the center of the field, that is not a good situation to be in. So, you know, if you are going to play around with it on the wing. I think that's why you see in soccer so often you'll see wing players that have the freedom to dribble. You know, often you're not going to see a player who's dribbling through a ton of people right in the center of the field. Usually you'll see that out on the wing.
Speaking of the wing, nobody was really out there to help out Jake McClelland. He kind of had to just keep going. Unfortunately, he got played into a defender, but Eagles were fortunate enough to retain possession and restart their attack.
Yeah, soccer is a game of triangles. You're always supposed to have two options. Emerson getting close to creating an opportunity there, just looking for that half yard to put something on that shot.
Great turn by him in the midfield there that opened up that shot. Sometimes it's just as simple as just a slight turn to open up and be able to have a shot on goal, which you see in plenty of instances.
Coming in for your Eagles, number 18, Ben Hatcher.
See now coming on for the Pensacola Eagles, you see Ben Hatcher coming on for number 1, Jake McClelland. Jake's done a good job this game. He's had plenty of opportunities. Hasn't quite been able to find the back of the net, but definitely positives, definitely been a big contributor so far in the game.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a continuation of what we were talking about earlier. You know, key players being given that, 7 minutes, 30 seconds of rest in addition to halftime. You think about, we have a 15-minute halftime, and so that's a good bit of rest as you're looking at, starting off the second half strong. I think Coach Leo is definitely recognizing, some stamina issues in the team and, resting key players in those few minutes before halftime. You can see, we were just talking about Jake McClelland. He's been so influential in the first half. Giving him that few minutes, I think that's going to be vital when it comes into the second half.
Yeah, the referees were just having a slight discussion there on the side as that throw was being held.
Yeah, the Eagles need to look to the other side of the field. There's acres of space over out there on the left wing right now. We can see the ball being switched. Excellent movement there by the Eagles.
Good job there by the defensive line to hold strong and not be tempted to move back with number 11 there from Trinity. Able to intercept the ball with that.
Yeah, I think Trinity tonight, you definitely seen number 9 Juan Grimaldo. I certainly believe he's probably their best player. You can see he's definitely working the hardest, and he's trying to get something out of this game for Trinity Baptist. He's the one who's trying to make the tackles. He's the one who right there is trying to make the through ball. I think if Trinity Baptist is going to have any joy tonight throughout this game, I think it's probably going to come through him. Taylor Jansen just simply picking up the ball, just a little bit too heavy on the through ball. See the Eagles just calmly working it out of the back. Really good work, keeping those triangles up, but the difficult pass. And I think if that through ball would have gone through, it probably would have been offsides, regardless of.
Good to see number 20 back up on his feet and back on the field.
Oh, that's incredible to see that not called. One of our players clearly cut to the ground. Nothing given. See the game just slightly. Anytime there's a clear foul and you don't see a call, the game is going to degenerate pretty quickly. Players learning by that they can get away with stuff. We see a foul called, but for Trinity Baptist.
Game in danger of getting just a little bit out of hand. As you know, you say, if a team feels like they should have got a call and they don't, they're going to say, okay, they can do that, we'll do the same. So the more that happens, the more it escalates. So this is we talk about both teams and what they have to do to be successful, but this is a vital time for the referees. Oh, great job by Taylor Jensen for keeping that in. But this is you'd almost say a vital time for the referees to make sure they keep this game under control and make sure these players know what they are allowed to do and what they aren't allowed to do.
I really confused by that call for the referee. Taylor made the save, so if the ball went out of bounds, it'd obviously be a corner kick. He's calling a goal kick, which just wouldn't even be possible in that scenario.
I think he might have saw maybe a Trinity Baptist player try to tap the ball away from Taylor. That's about the only thing I can think of, but nonetheless. Good communication there in the midfield, letting Nick know he has somebody on his back there, and he gets the ball away quickly and well.
Good pressure there by number 23 for the Eagles, just putting some pressure on Juan Grimaldo, a player you can't give an inch to. And we see some frustration coming out of the players for the PCC Eagles. You know, whenever you're not getting the calls and you know you should be, that's a difficult place to be.
Great ball by Paul there as he looks to get everybody forward and hopefully get a shot here in a little bit. Shot by Nick Standards goes just wide of the post as it goes out for a goal kick. Maybe would have liked to see that shot come off of our attacker's foot just a little bit quicker, but he did a good job in finding Nick and having that opportunity at a shot.
Right, we're standing here right by the box. The coach right under us, you can hear him screaming, shoot the ball. So you can definitely feel his opinions on that passage of play. The ball comes through for number 16 for the Eagles, coming in, slowing down once again, looking for the shot, gets the shot away, but wildly off to the left. At least he did shoot. You have to give him that. At least he did shoot. He did what the coach was asking.
He did shoot.
You're supposed to keep this positive.
Only a minute and a half left in this first half. Definitely plenty of positives to bring away from this game for the Pensacola Christian College Eagles. I think we're doing a lot better of controlling the midfield, which has allowed us to have a number more shots on target. Not necessarily on target, but a number more shots upfield.
Seeing a tight game, not necessarily both ways, but a tight game. See Nick Standridge just interested in keeping the clean sheet for the first half, trying to get it up the field. See Emerson Rankin, a really pacey player, and the ball's given away. But Trinity win it back, coming up on the right wing for them.
Fantastic there by Taylor. Read that ball perfectly. If he'd come out a second later, that would have been a ball for number 11 on the Trinity Baptist Eagles. A shot for him, no doubt, if Taylor came out any later.
You can see only 13 seconds left in the half, just trying to get a last attack in here.
7, 6, 5,
And once that time runs out, the half is over. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's the way it works with the clock. No stoppage time, but the clock is stopped when there's any stoppage of play. Really solid first half for the Eagles. They controlled a good bit of the possession, not all of it for certain. Chances created on both sides, but the Eagles getting the goal. We're thankful for you being here to watch the first half. We hope you'll come back to watch the second with us.
I grew up in a Christian home. My parents led me to the Lord when I was about 4 years old. And I remember always thinking, I wonder if God would want me to be a youth pastor. I knew that God was calling me here to PCC. I really wasn't sure if God was calling me to preach. And I went home that summer after freshman year, really not knowing for sure. And I had the opportunity to help in my youth group back in my home church. And that summer, God absolutely confirmed 100% in my heart that He wanted me to be involved with young people in youth ministries.
Youth ministry is that area that is most close to the heart of God. When you see Jesus and His treatment of children and His attention and devotion to them, let them come to me, when other people would diminish and push kids away. The heart of God is towards children. They're so easy to reach because they trust and they believe, but then you're preparing them for a lifetime of service.
The heartbeat of PCC is to train young people to serve Christ. The ministerial department specifically, in my opinion, is where you see the essence of PCC's heartbeat. They get to pour the most into that as they prepare people specifically for full-time vocational ministry.
I would emphasize the balance of our approach between Bible content and practical application. We want you to know the Bible. We want you to have a vibrant walk with the Lord. But then we want you to know how to take that Bible knowledge and take that walk with the Lord and share it with other people. Whether it's sharing, communicating, teaching, preaching, we want them to take the content, put it into practice, and I think our program does a good job of emphasizing both.
I've been able to see that my teachers really do have a desire not only to understand God's Word, but to teach it to us. They're not here just to do their job. They're not here out of just a sense of duty. They're here because they care about what they're doing. They're here because they care about us. They care about the next generation. And they're doing everything they can to equip us to be the most effective servants as we can be.
We do try to emphasize a lot of the practical skills that they're going to need in ministry. All of our ministerial students will do 2 semesters of internships here in the campus church, where they'll be exposed to every single ministry of the campus church. And then they'll have a whole semester where they get plugged into one of those ministries. Our senior ministerial students can get an internship in a local church, and then we have a number of churches in the community that meet with our students and we'll pair them up with various ministries. One of the consistent statements that they say about our graduates is our graduates know how to serve in a church. They're prepared for a lot of different things, and it makes them very flexible. They have a lot of options and opportunities when they get through with a youth ministry degree.
God has used my time here at PCC to prepare me for my future ministry, and I can have confidence that because of my time here, I am more developed and prepared for what God would have me to do in the future.
Shaping lives, creating beauty, finding solutions, touching lives for Christ, making a difference through service, doing what you love, challenging the status quo, For decades, PCC graduates have taken their next steps in life, continuing to grow, to accomplish, and to influence, doing what they were meant to do, one step at a time.
I love what I do because it just constantly changes. No day is the same. I never know what I'm going to do when I go to work that day. It really depends on the calls that come out and the incidents that happen throughout that day.
I had a family that at the very beginning I did not think was going to be able to be reunified. And I was able to place those children back in their home and reunify that family. And I thought, I absolutely love my job.
The greatest part of my job is the people that we get to meet every day. And everybody has their kind of idea of what they want in their house, and that's a neat aspect. That's neat to be able to walk them through that, to see the joy and excitement in their face through the process, but then also after they move in.
I'm a fine artist. I'm an oil painter. I work primarily in oils, and I paint realistic landscapes and figures and portraits. It's like you're taking a slice of all of life and you're expressing that beauty. You're trying to relate to that beauty that you live in 100% of the time.
The thing that I like most about working as a high school principal is the fact that every day of my life I have an opportunity to influence young people and their families.
We're a small church, so I'm able just to kind of get my hands in everywhere. I preach every Sunday morning to the entire congregation, as well as work with the teens on Wednesday nights and Sundays. I want to see people experience victory in their Christian walk.
We saw a child in clinic, and I, of course, immediately recognized the name. It had been over a year since I had seen the family. To see her doing well, interacting, talking with you, waving at you, when what you remember a year and a half before was just constant difficulty.
I am a performing pianist, and I also teach college students. Carnegie Hall was an opportunity that God has given me. I enjoy polishing the talent that God has given me as a good steward, and my dream is to continue playing all my life.
When I first started as an owner-operator, they like to kind of put a young person in there. I was only 24 at the time. I did a little bit of everything, whether it's just working a register or cooking the food in the back. This is why I like Chick-fil-A. It's about the people, whether it's my team or just the other vendors we come in contact with or the customers.
I have the wonderful privilege to admit moms into the hospital as they are in their last stages of delivery in their prenatal period, and walk through a day, sometimes 2 or 3, of delivering a newborn, bringing that newborn into the world.
I spent 15 years in youth ministry, and the Lord moved me into the senior pastorate a few years ago. But honestly, it's been what I have always desired to do. I am living the dream that I have always had ever since I can remember. I can't remember honestly wanting to do anything else but serve the Lord.
I was very interested in attending Pensacola Christian College because I wanted to have the strong foundation that they offered for my spiritual growth, and also a strong educational foundation, so it offered the best of both worlds.
The quality of academics really has helped me out here. I kind of hold the standard high for myself, but I was taught to do that through high academic standards.
PCC sets a standard of excellence that taught us as educators to really go and do likewise.
I would say that the teachers were not only dedicated to keeping a standard of excellence, but I would say in many respects they were the standard of excellence. Their own ethic, their own work ethic, I think really inspired me to work much, much harder than perhaps I normally would have.
I had several professors I think very fondly of that took a lot of extra time if I was struggling in a class or just not getting some material that say, hey, meet with me after.
I had instructors who would constantly encourage us to guard our devotion, our private time with the Lord. They were examples and role models both spiritually and professionally.
It wasn't just their job, it was their ministry. It wasn't just what they did, it was their life, and they poured their life into what they did, but they poured it into us as students.
When I came to PCC, I had both. I had an amazing teacher, and I had that firm foundation from the Bible.
I can't think of a better place to train because the focus is on God's Word. it's not just a Christian college in philosophy, it's a Christian college in its activity.
I grew spiritually under the daily preaching and teaching of the Word of God, and it changed my life.
If you want to know what something's right or wrong, I know exactly where to look, and I can base a lot of that back to the things that I learned through Bible classes.
The environment enabled me to really seek the Lord and His will for my life. It was put me in a position where I could really focus on my walk with the Lord and not be, distracted or worried about what else was going around me.
It's a good, clean, safe Christian environment to begin to learn more about your field.
Medical school is a rigorous thing for anybody to do and go through, but I was prepared for that.
Going into grad school, I had no problem passing those entrance exams.
I mean, things I learned at Pensacola was how to deal with people in a one-on-one, in a real way.
I came out of PCC well prepared and well equipped for nursing and really life in general. When my husband and we got married a week after graduation, and neither of us had debts.
Honestly, I had no idea until after I got out of college how difficult college debt had been for a number of people. And I thought it was normal to graduate with a degree and not have thousands of dollars of debt hanging over your head.
To make the decision to go to a place where the tuition is affordable, where you're not going to come out of college with a lot of debt. I sit down at a desk next to people every day now who owe $250,000 or $350,000 of school debt, and I have none of that.
And it's a great environment to really learn God for yourself. And that's really, I think, the greatest asset that PCC has for a young person. You can come to a school where you don't have a lot of the pressures of the world and at the same time focus on your academics, and I think that really is the greatest reason.
Look at the product that's coming out, read about it, look at what people have experienced there. Come to people who are graduates and alumni and have gone out and done things in this world for God's glory, and then make an informed decision. Never close your mind to something that God might have for you. But in the end, it's you and your relationship with your God that should decide what the next step is.
And we're back for the second half, just about 40 seconds leading up to the whistle that will start the second half here. We're reminiscing about first half, talking about it up here in the box. Really a solid half for the Eagles. Chances for both sides, but it's really nice to see the Eagles going in to halftime 1-0 up. I think the first few minutes of this half are going to be really important to see how it's going to go. I would expect Trinity Baptist. They looked gassed towards the end of the first half. So I would expect them to have gone in, gotten a team talk. Them said, their coach talked to them and said, hey, we need to step it out. We need to come out strong. This is an important game. And so I'd expect to see Trinity Baptist come out pretty strong here in the second half. And I think it's key for the Eagles just to get through that first few moments. No team can keep up that pace for too long. So if they can just weather that, move the ball around, I think they'll be set.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of times whenever I'm watching American football, you can have a game that has gotten way out of hand in the first half, and then after halftime, there's this massive change where suddenly another team is just taking over. So if a coach knows what he's doing, and if he's been around long enough, he can make a big change in his team and really affect the way his team is playing most of the time for the better. So this can easily be a game of two halves. Hopefully it won't be for the Pensacola Christian College Eagles' sake. We're looking to get another goal, obviously, but I think that's the kind of momentum shift that Trinity will be looking for. Just at halftime, the Pensacola's kind of slowed down. They've had a rest, not in that momentum. So Trinity's going to be looking to pounce on that as they win the ball here in the midfield and start a counterattack.
Yeah, we saw the Eagles starting off well. Opportunity just in the first minute there. Josh Esberta, a shot just a little off target, but that's really promising for the Eagles. Strong tackle by number 20 for Trinity Baptist, but it goes back to the PCC Eagles. And the Eagles once again having their starters back in. And we saw at halftime the referee, standing around talking with a couple of the players from the PCC Eagles, joking around, but yet not seeing the foul again. Struggling to get it out of the back just a little bit for the Eagles, trying to win it in the midfield.
Good control by Bobby and good presence of mind there. Just to slow that down. He realizes Pensacola is just kind of probably getting a little hairy there. Needs to slow things down, get a little bit more control, and that's exactly what he does. There's Paul there in the midfield as well.
Yeah, I think that good quality about Paul. He's not afraid to play the way he's facing. Like I was talking about in the first half, he's so good at turning, but it's not like he's stuck to that. He has the awareness to not force things if he doesn't need to, and I think that's something that's key in creating those chances we were talking about in the first half. The chances you have to create, if you're always giving it away in the final third, that's something you're not going to be able to do.
Unlucky touch there by Christian Reynosa, sees the ball go back to Trinity Baptist. Not quite enough on that ball where number 21 for Trinity would have liked it. Unfortunately, give it away there by Adrian as Trinity Baptist retains possession in the midfield. Looking to get the ball through, doesn't quite get it done. Taylor just lets that go for a corner.
Yeah, as looking from an Eagles perspective, you have to limit those errant passes. To win a game, you're probably going to need a high percentage of completed passes. So that something to work on. They played really well. The set piece is really important. Good work there by Adrian Torres getting out. A great header of the ball.
Especially in your own half, you're going to be looking to limit those errors because anything, within 40 yards of the goal, if you give it away, that's going to most of the time open up a shot for the opposition there.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to be so careful. You want to keep possession, but you have to be careful with it. As the set piece comes in from the corner, little bit too much on it. We saw in the first maybe 10, 15 minutes of the first half that a lot of the threat that Trinity Baptist had was coming from those set pieces from the corners. So that's something that the Eagles are going to have to watch throughout the second half, making sure that, the players that have, great area ability for Trinity Baptist are kept in check.
And keeping them off of those set pieces, free kicks, corners, is going to be limiting fouls. And along that line is Micah Hatcher, who's already sitting on a yellow. We saw him get a warning from the referee fairly early on in the first half. So he's going to have to be incredibly careful in the second half not to do anything deserving of a yellow card, because if he gets that second yellow, he's sent off, and Pensacola is playing with 10 men.
Yeah, this is not the game for that to happen. Not that any is, but this is certainly not the game that you want to see something like that.
Bit of a push there by Trinity, but Jake McClellan does well to settle that ball. Bit of time wasting as well, but referee's just going to let it play on, which is fine. Great shot by Jake McClellan. He puts it in the back of the net from 30 yards out. Beautiful shot. Beautiful vision there to see that goal is open.
What initiative there. That is phenomenal there from Paul Stewart. In that position, playing the ball quickly is not the normal play there. Playing the ball, setting it down, setting up, getting everybody set up to get that ball swung in as a cross is the normal way you'd go about that. But he sees an opportunity, sets the ball down, passes it. Jake McClellan also with the initiative to just look up, hit it. The keeper is not paying as much attention as maybe he should have been. Right in the bottom left-hand corner. Great work by the Eagles. Great initiative. Opportunities that, you might not see, but when you see them, a great advantage. 2-0 now for the PCC Eagles.
And that's big. We haven't seen them take a 2-0 lead. We haven't seen them score 2 goals at home yet this season. So that is definitely big for them to go up 2-0 on Trinity Baptist. But that's big, because we see them as a great through ball is played here. Keeper's off his line. We'll see what he does. Takes a step back, puts it through, and that's another goal.
It's in the back of the net. Number 16, I believe, for the Eagles. Riley Buchowski. We'll get confirmation on that in a minute. In the back of the net, solid work.
Your Eagles with back-to-back goals.
Just the awareness there. We saw him just a little bit tentative in the first half with almost a similar opportunity, but he takes that extra second, puts off the defender, and slots it in the top corner. Excellent play there by the Eagles.
And just like that, the Eagles are up 3-0. That's big. If we can keep this confidence going, we can rack up goals the rest of the game. But we have to be wary. Trinity Baptist is going to be looking to bounce back. You never want to go down. You never want to go down 1 goal, much less 3. So they're going to be looking to come hard. We got 39 minutes left, so it's going to be a push the entire time. This is going to be a big moment for the Eagles to see if they can hold on for 39 minutes for what I expect to be a very fast and more than likely a very powerful Trinity Baptist attack, because that's what they're looking to get back from 3 goals. That's tough to do in 90 minutes, much less 40.
Absolutely. I think we're really seeing reaping the dividends of, we saw in the first half a risky play by Coach Lewa, starting to take out key players when there was even 15, 17 minutes left in the first half. But we're seeing those dividends. They held on in the first half, and they got the goal. And now in the second half, they've got their starters coming out on the field with some energy. And we see a contrast there between Trinity Baptist and the PCC Eagles. Trinity made a couple substitutions, not very many. Number 16, once again, Riley Buchalski on his own in the final third, but just can't get past the second to last defender there. Good to see that initiative, though. The ball right over the top. The game really opening up.
An update for Pensacola Eagles fans. Our volleyball team is playing away in Greenville right now at Bob Jones University. They have just taken a 2-1 set lead over Bob Jones. So nice to hear that they're doing well there. Good luck to them as they keep on playing, and hopefully they're able to pull the match out and win that one.
Hopefully this will be a good night. Good night all around for the Eagles. The ball comes in. Dangerous ball as it slides all the way through.
Coach Lewa is furiously looking for a cross field. Josh, his Bertha is wide open as he's there and puts the ball just wide. A big
So
opportunity there for the Eagles to possibly go up by 4 goals.
So close. This this could be a great thing for the Eagles. Score does matter. This is at this level of play in the NCCAA Division II. It's not set up like most leagues where a win is 3 points, a tie is 1 point, a loss is 0 points, and then goal difference matters beyond that. Each game is based on points, and it's not the same for each game. So the score certainly does matter. If they win this game 3-0, great, but if they were to win it 6-0, that would be significantly better because of the point system.
We see number 14, Ben Grover, come on for Micah Hatcher. That's another thing, just leaning back to that yellow card he got earlier. We're up 3-0. There's really no need to keep him in there and risk getting that red card when you're up by this much. So just put somebody in who maybe is looking to find their way into that first team, willing to work, and finish the rest of the game out. Paul Stewart wins a free kick in the midfield as the Trinity Baptist player kind of came over his back.
We see the game degenerating just a little bit there. And once again, we see, a foul, a certain foul, not called. And when a certain foul is not called, you're just begging for the game to go that way. Hopefully, we won't see any more of that. You don't want to be critical, for sure. The refereeing is a difficult job, but it's certainly the least consistent game we've seen here at home yet.
Paul Stewart did do a good job of working through that and retaining possession. He may not look it, but he is probably one of our strongest midfielders. He works hard. He's not willing to throw himself into a challenge to win the ball for the team.
Absolutely there. A key player tonight, really integral to, the 3-0 lead that we're seeing right now. A lot of opportunities presenting themselves for the Eagles now, really opening up. I think they certainly have an opportunity for some more goals here. Free kick in a dangerous area.
You see Paul Stewart at the middle of that yet again. Paul Stewart is causing major problems for Trinity Baptist right now. He's everywhere. He's all over the pitch, controlling play, quite honestly. And they really don't have anything to do except for just take him down.
Yeah, this free kick here, I'm getting flashbacks of the same fixture last year. Paul Stewart with a free kick right here from this similar distance, put it into the bottom, towards the bottom corner. The keeper got a hand to it, but wasn't able to keep it, wasn't able to hold on to it, and then the rebound was put into the back of the net. So we know that Paul has great placement. I think if he can get the placement and the power on this shot, this could be really dangerous.
Great shot there by Paul Stewart and a good save by the Trinity Baptist goalkeeper.
Always a difficult decision for a goalkeeper. Something's really close to the goal. Do I put a finger to it and risk the corner that's going to ensue, or do I just try to let it go? Usually best to just make the safest opinion. As the ball comes in here, Paul Stewart once again winning the ball. The ball through beautiful to Josh Hisberto, but it was offsides. It was offsides. Josh will be glad to look over and see the flag was already up, because you don't want to be missing opportunities like that. A big chance, a chance you deemed that you should have put in. A relief to see that it didn't matter one way or the other.
I mean, that example right there is exactly why Trinity really has no option other than to take Paul Stewart down. He's playing these balls through the midfield that are perfectly placed. I mean, the defense had an opportunity to stop it, but it was inch perfect. It was just wide. Foul call in the middle of the field for Trinity Baptist. Not much you can do about that, but
Yeah, you can see probably going to try to pump this ball all the way down into the box. Great header there by Micah Hatcher as the ball comes out. Won by Bobby Walker. Let's see if there's a counterattack in here. Bobby Walker almost loses the ball. Gets to the number 16, Riley Buchalski. Jake McClellan fighting for it. Riley Buchalski really playing well tonight. A lot of energy. I see a slight deflection there. That's why the throw for Trinity Baptist.
I think this is a big game for the Eagles, even the 2 years that we've had it, because it's been kind of a breakout year. Last year you saw Nick Standards. Not a ton of people knew Nick. I believe he was a freshman last year, and just him scoring that major goal, that put his names on the lips of every student here. And I think this is the same thing for Buchalski. I think this is his breakout game. As we see number 20, Elijah Hisbertha, Josh's brother, come in for number 15, Travis Rose.
See the game getting pretty chippy there. Arms extended. See Trinity Baptist just trying to work it out of the back, trying to establish some sort of a rhythm. Good ball over the top to number 5. Lots of pace there as he comes down the wing. We'll see if the ball will go out. Good slide tackle by number 20. First involvement in the game for Elijah Berta. Another dangerous set play here. Saw much of the threat from Trinity Baptist in the first few minutes of the first half coming from set plays. Really key player for the Eagles here. Adrian Torres, see if he can get his head to it. Taylor Jensen punching it out, establishing his authority there in the box like he's been doing all season.
Yeah, and you look at the people that Trinity Baptist brings into the box. They have a bigger height advantage over Pensacola. So that is their advantage. They're going to be looking to utilize that as this game progresses, as we hit 30 minutes left in the half in the game.
Yeah, we can see this game really opening up. I mean, number 17 with an opportunity here for Trinity Baptist. Great defending there, though, by Adrian Torres. Once again, just making that critical tackle, that last opportunity for somebody to get in between the player and an opportunity on goal. But once again, another corner coming in here. That'll be part of Trinity's game plan here in the second half. You are looking for, play your strengths against your opponent's weaknesses, and you can see the definite height advantage. Coming to the back post, comes down, bobbling around in the box. Taylor Jansen coming out. See the deflection there. I think it's going to go out for another corner. You always hold your breath when you're watching, the ball bouncing around the box and the keeper decides to go out and do something about it. You're always, that's such a dangerous play. But,
especially on the balls that Taylor's done really well on those through balls. You see him coming out and you're like, okay, you got to make this right or else this isn't going to go well. So Taylor seems to have good discretion about him. He makes good choices about when to go out for the ball, when to pick it up, when to punch it, when to stay in goal. So he's a good keeper for the Eagles to have. He's one of their key members. We see a substitution for Trinity Baptist is number 11. Yolermans Hilaire come on for number 9, Juan Grimaldo.
Yeah, I think that's something that's just necessary for them to do. Their main player throughout this game has been Juan Grimaldo, really the creative force for their team. And, everybody needs a rest sometime. Great work there by Tim Yefimov. Just, clogging up things for Trinity Baptist, keeping them from establishing any sort of rhythm, keeping them from stringing together even, 3 or 4 passes there in the final third. We can see Eagles about to make a change when the ball goes out next time. Number 23 will be coming on for the Eagles, Jesse Dunbar.
I'm kind of hoping Coach Lewas will put some of our younger talent in that maybe necessarily hasn't seen a lot of playing time here at home, just to kind of get them out in front of the home fans, get them some experience out here, because that's always exciting for a player to go play for his college in front of the home team. I'm sure if you've ever wanted to play college soccer on even a semi-professional level, that's big that you're able to go play in front of home fans.
Absolutely. We can see the substitution taking place here. Number 23, Jesse Dunbar, coming on. I believe he's replacing number 5, Tim Yefimov. And the second half in this format of play is unlike the first half in that there is re-entry in the second half. So in the first half, if you're taken off, you will not come back on until after halftime. But in the second half, you can be taken off, you can be put back on. We can see offsides here.
I think the referee was expecting Taylor to come out and get that. That's why he was holding off on the call. But in the end, calls it. Pensacola's ball.
Yeah, it's always kind of a dangerous decision to let, you can already see there's an offside, letting play go. The players don't know. They're still going to be going full bore. What if somebody gets injured in a play that was already going to be a foul?
Right, and there are the benefits of letting a call go, such as an offside. You're playing advantage on just a regular foul. Like if the keeper's coming out to pick up the ball and there's an offsides flag raised, typically you'll just let him have it, because sometimes a punt may be a little bit better of an option than just a dead ball free kick.
Great work there by number 23, Jesse Dunbar for the Eagles. Really, I've seen really solid work from the subs that have come in for the Eagles. They're demonstrating their depth. It's really promising, for future years. Every year you are going to lose a few players. That's going to happen. You're going to lose key players eventually, obviously, as players move through. So you always have to have a solid base, a pool that you are maturing, that you're bringing up in the game. And so it's good to see a lot of the younger players who've come on tonight have really played well tonight. Something encouraging to see as we're looking long term in this program, not just this year, but in future years.
Speaking of young players, we have a freshman, number 26, Lucas Sampaio, coming on for Josh's Bertha. Josh went off on the other side, so that would be why you didn't see him come across the field. But that's another player that I hope we're able to see him, show his talents here, show what he can do. He'll be looking to play a big part as you see him going full sprint after the Trinity Baptist player. Good effort, a little high by Trinity Baptist, but that's what you want to see if you're a Trinity Baptist fan. You want to see them at least taking those shots. They haven't had too many of those tonight. With Ben Hatcher, number 18, coming on for Bobby Walker, number 6.
Yeah, I think we've seen kind of a transition for Trinity Baptist here in the second half. We saw in the first half really most of the opportunities coming from Juan Grimaldo, his hard work, really putting in the effort. But here in the second half, we're seeing most of the opportunities coming down the left wing with number 5 for Trinity Baptist, Garris Futsal, done a really solid job. He's a lot of pace. He's got those long legs, long strides, just easily striding past the defense for the Eagles. Great opportunity for the Eagles here if Jake McClellan can pick the right ball. Just trying to keep the ball where it's so difficult. He's still up, but in the end, just kept it just a little bit too longer. Great work, and the referee makes that call. At some point, you have to make the call. Hits are getting bigger and bigger. At some point, you have to draw the line and say, all right, anything above this, too much. Great work there by Elijah Berta.
Talking about that young group, that young core that Coach Lewas is looking to have, looking at who we have out there, we have 3 seniors, those being Christian Reynosa, Adrian Torres, and Taylor Jensen. Everybody else is freshmen and sophomores, so that's very encouraging. That's 2-3 years of players who are just now getting experience, which is absolutely vital, and you want to see them continue that. Ball is going to be played in here just over the line. We see Adrian there, and he's able to put it into the back of the net. A beautiful set piece as Adrian, I believe, gets his first goal of the season.
And I've been saying every single game I talk about how Adrian is a great header of the ball. And so far he hasn't really had the great opportunities for that. But he did right there. A beautiful ball, great assist by Paul Stewart. The ball curving just gently into the box, right over the defender to the head of Adrian. And Adrian makes no mistake, places it into the right-hand corner past the helpless hands of the keeper. 4-0 for the Eagles, exactly what they need. And you can see immediately Coach Lewas is taking off some key players. Jake McClellan coming off, Adrian Torres coming off, and Travis Rose coming off, number 7, replacing him. Excuse me, I have that backwards. Travis Rose coming on, replacing number 7, Adrian Torres. And Paul Justiniano is going on, replacing Jake McClellan there. And I expected to see that. If there was another goal that was going to go in, I'd see, as you were talking about, Tyler, really trying to get some of those young players in tonight in this really important game. But with up 4 goals, you have that opportunity now.
Little tug there from Lucas, so an understandable call. Referee's trying to get a hold back on this game, so little stuff you'll probably start seeing called a little bit more. In a dangerous position for a team like Trinity Baptist as they move both of their tallest players on the pitch, and I don't think anybody's within 4 inches of their height. So this is a dangerous point for Pensacola. We're going to have to be strong here.
See the ball coming in, just a low bouncing ball as it goes over the top, and looks like it's probably harmlessly going to go out there for a throw-in down at the very edge of the end line there. See the coach for Trinity Baptist really getting involved on the edge line, trying to encourage his players, trying to push them on. Really not enjoying what he's seeing out there, seeing a lot of dejected faces, a lot of slower touches. Everything's kind of starting to realize there's 20 minutes left. We're down 4. This game's probably gone for good.
Hard worker coming in for a hard worker as Emerson Rankin comes in for Paul Stewart. Looking to see him kind of do the same that Paul was doing, just kind of dominate that midfield. I know Emerson has the ability to make good plays and find people who are running into space. So look for him to be doing that some more.
Yeah, I think Emerson is really kind of trying to find his place in this team. Last year he didn't play a ton, and Emerson is a quality player. He really has the ability to grab a game by the scruff of the neck and change it. And so I'm really hoping and that we'll see that this season. He has great potential, and hoping to see that throughout this season. Just finding his niche in the team. It's always difficult. You can have a great player who comes into a good team and not able to really find their niche. So hoping to see that with Emerson. Tonight is a really good night. Not a whole lot of pressure. You're up in a game 4-0. You have that opportunity just to, not a whole lot of stress to really find your niche in the team.
Some good plays here in the middle. We're finding our good one-touch passes really fast, which is good. Hatcher here playing the ball back to Christian Reynosa, who plays it across to number 23. Just settling it down a little bit. No need to rush it. We rush it, we commit errors, which can lead to counterattacks, which leads to goals, which is what you don't want. So right. I see him slowing it down a little bit.
Yeah, you see number 5 once again out there on that wing, trying to create something for Trinity Baptist. Wins the foul, he's really, if we're honest, really been the best player for Trinity in the second half. Created the best opportunities for them with that pace. You can see him trying there again, trying to, if he can get to the open field, that pace can be a great advantage to him. But you have to get there first. See, a lot of fouls being given away. A lot of fouls being given away tonight. Great defense there by the Eagles, just heading the ball out before it could even enter into the box.
That was a good idea there to play that ball across to number 22, Paul Giustiniano. A little bit hard, but it's okay. Subbing in for the Eagles, number 2, Jeff Thompson, in for number 9, Christian Reynos. Christian's had a good game. He's controlled the left side pretty well. Hasn't, on paper, it doesn't look like he's contributed too much, but he has stopped a good number of attacks by Trinity Baptist. So defenders, you don't necessarily, you can say if you don't hear their name a lot, that's good. They're doing their job. So I think Christian's one of those players, a quiet hero back playing left back.
Number 16 once again coming up on the right wing. Let's see if an opportunity can be created. To number 26, and give and go as the ball goes through, but I think it'll slip just beyond for a goal kick. Good work for the Eagles, solid. You'd like to see opportunity created from that, but it's a pretty open game. I'm sure in the last 17 minutes of this game we'll definitely see that. Number 11 almost in the clear for Trinity Baptist as he slides a little bit to the right side of the goal, and in the end is just unable to get it across on target. Kind of the story of the night for Trinity Baptist. It's not as if they haven't had their chances. It's not as if they haven't created the possibility of scoring. It's just that last touch, that little too hard of a touch before the opportunity that's really kind of deserted them tonight. I think on a different night, this game could be much closer.
Right, and I agree. A lot of their balls have just kind of been maybe a yard or two too long on a cross. But I think one thing that helps with Pensacola and kind of hurts Trinity is the crowd that's out here tonight. We have a large crowd. Our stands are pretty much full. And you go to a lot of colleges, and there may not necessarily be that reception that goes out to their soccer games. You may have 200-300 people, but you come out here and you have a full crowd who's cheering, making noise, getting pumped up whenever we score. That is a difference maker. As much as some people may say, the crowd doesn't really affect them that much, they're just there to watch a game. The crowd has an impact, and the crowd can definitely be the difference between a game won and a game lost, just because morale on a team can be incredibly changed by a crowd's reaction. So it's good to see them all out here tonight. I hope we can keep them coming for the rest of our games.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. And you can just see that proven if you look at stats for home wins and away wins. Just generally, for almost any soccer team, they're going to have more wins at home than away. And I think that has something to do with the crowd. I think it also has to do with the travel involved. If you have to travel somewhere, that's not going to benefit your play. If you're already there, that's obviously the best situation. So some definite advantages that the Eagles are going to have to be thinking about as they go and play at Trinity. They're going to have to really be thinking about you go into a game and maybe let's say this game ends the way it is right now, 4-0. If they go into Trinity's home turf thinking, oh, this is a team we beat 4-0, no problem, I think that'll be a really bad thing to be thinking going into a game. Could see a yellow card certainly coming out for number 20 for Trinity Baptist here. A great opportunity here. We saw a free kick in a similar situation that Adrian Torres headed expertly right into the corner. Great opportunity here for a similar play.
definitely lining up like we're going to look at that ball over the top. A few people make a runs, and it's there. He's offsides, though.
Yeah, it's something you got to watch with those. Just one of your 8 players that's going into that box, if they're offsides, it ruins it for everybody else. So something you have to keep an eye on that line. Good work by the defense, though, for Trinity Baptist. Keeping an eye on that line, making sure that there's at least one player who's beyond it. Ball just slips out of side.
We'll see 2 players coming on. Number 4, Mark Brown, who tosses the captain's armband over to Travis Rose. But Mark Brown's coming on for number 26, Lucas Sampaio. The other substitute coming on was number 19, Jason Upchurch.
See number 5 once again coming down the wing, but Elijah Hesberta done a really good job. Number 5, Garrett for Trinity Baptist, done a really good job in the first maybe 15 minutes of this second half. But Elijah Hesberta, not a player I've seen play very much, but he certainly has the pace to keep up with a fast offense. Done an excellent job back there. After the minutes that I've seen him play tonight, I would not be surprised to see him playing a lot more minutes here in the future.
Yeah, him and his brother are both very quick players, so that's very useful to have in a soccer team. 2 players who are very fast, who know the game very well. That's invaluable to a team. And I think we have a lot of players like that on this team who are that quick and that high knowledge of soccer. Looking for a through ball here up to Hatcher. Unfortunate touch there as the ball is given away.
Yeah, it's so close. It's difficult, watching the game from this vantage point. You can see all the passes that should have been made, but you have to understand, it's a different world down there on the field. You can see a player down right here, number 20, for Trinity Baptist. And the referee will just bring play to a halt for a minute. Looks like perhaps a cramp. He'll be helped off the field by a couple of his teammates.
He did get injured earlier in the game, so this may be that bugging him again. So if it is, not good. If it's not, hopefully it's just something he can get over real fast and get back in the game. Coming in for the Eagles, number 21, Luke Lafort. Coming on for number 16, Riley Buchalski, one of the goal scorers. He's had a great night tonight.
Yeah, really impressed with him. A young player getting some of his, first real opportunities in a game and just playing really well. I think that goes for the whole team tonight. The PCC Eagles have played so well, considering if you compare, the one comparison you can make, as we can see, we'll continue that. Mark Brown, as he's coming down the right wing, looking for a ball in the boxes that comes across, cleared at the last moment by number 2 for Trinity Baptist. As I was saying, as they were coming down, the one comparison that we can make is that in playing the same opponent, I believe Toccoa Falls for the Eagles beat them 1-0 in the game they played against them, while Trinity Baptist beat them 3-0 in that game. So that's kind of the one, apples for apples comparison that we could make before the night began. But there's no comparison in how they played tonight. 4-0, absolutely, clearly dominating the PCC Eagles tonight. And so, it just goes to show the comparison that you see maybe at the beginning of the game is not always, the best comparison throughout.
Right, and you don't necessarily know the factors and all that. There may have been an injury to a significant player. A great turn there by number 22, Paul Giustiniano. Yeah, you don't know the circumstance of that, so the scoreline may not necessarily reflect what had happened in the game. It may have been raining. It may have been the field may have been awful. Injuries, you never know. Substitute for the Eagles, number 24, Hayden Hoffman, coming on for number 17, Emerson Rankin. another player who's had a good game. I think we can say that about all the players who, come off as a substitute, or even the ones who have stayed on. Everybody's played a very solid game tonight, and I'm looking to see more of that out of the freshmen and sophomores and the people who aren't necessarily getting as much playing time. I'm looking to see more of that from them. It helps when the starters have come off so well that it kind of gives you a little boost to know, okay, I don't really have to worry about this. It's not like I'm coming into a game where we have to score 2 goals. You can come out, play your game, relax a little bit, no pressure. So that's really going to help their development, I believe.
Dangerous giveaway there by the Eagles by number 14, but able to clear the ball up the field. Yeah, I can see a foul probably going to be called on Micah's younger brother, number 18 for the Eagles, Ben Hatcher. See a little family feistiness there.
Just a little bit. Good head away there by number 15, Travis Rose.
Yet another corner for Trinity Baptist, trying to convert some of their height advantage here. But the ball, once again, it's not really in the center of the box. More a near post ball played there.
That's definitely something that Trinity's probably going to go home and work on. They'll probably spend half of practice working on corners and just positioning and where to go, because they definitely had their opportunities that they probably should have converted, maybe 1 or 2 corners. I know, every year you have corners every game, and you're not necessarily going to convert all of them, but you want to at least put a few shots on goal from corners. So they had the height in this game. They probably should have converted a few, but that's just something to work on for next game. A miscommunication there in the midfield. Number 22, Paul Johnstoniano, just trying to catch the keeper off his line.
Yeah,
a little short, little off. But
yeah, you can see it was there for the taking. The keeper was way off his line. Something that is happens a lot when there's a quick change of possession, and the keeper was expecting his team to be on the offense, but then they're quickly on the defense. A ball slipped through to number 11, but once again, great decision making by Taylor Jensen, coming out, snagging the ball. No real threat there. Now we can see probably another card getting pulled out here. Really a wild slide tackle there by number 17 for Trinity Baptist. Yeah, I'd expect Jeff Thompson just to take a couple seconds. When you're up 4-0, the last 6 minutes of the game, just take a breather, take a couple moments. Almost slipped in by number 22 there for the Eagles.
I will say Trinity, there are positives to be had. They've had a lot of this type of play right here. They've had a lot of through balls, and the reason they haven't converted on all of them is, again, Taylor Jensen, he's been phenomenal in goal. But they have had a lot of those through ball opportunities. So I wouldn't come away from this game saying that everything was bad, because they had plenty of opportunities. They just got to convert. They kind of look like we did in the past couple games. They are getting a little bit overrun in the midfield. They had their passes, they had their chances, they just didn't take any of them. So that's a few things that they could work on as they go into their next game. But they are going to want to put this game behind them pretty quick.
Yeah, I can see just in the last passion of play there, the through ball played in by the Eagles. Really good decision-making by the Trinity Baptist back line. You could see they made a conscious decision the moment before the ball was played to step forward, and the referee called offsides as it was. Excellent play by them. The ball coming over the top once again by Jeff Thompson, number 22 for the Eagles, running onto it. Doing well as the ball goes out of bounds for an Eagles throw-in.
a quick update on volleyball. The Eagles are in the 5th set with Bob Jones. Currently up, as last that I'm able to tell, 9-7 in the final set. That set will just go to 15, win by 2. Same rule applies. But apparently a good game up in Greenville between the two rivals, Pensacola Christian and Bob Jones. Good luck to the Eagles up there again as they're trying to finish that game out and hopefully get a W and bring that back down.
Absolutely. We wish them the best of luck. Hoping it goes as well for them as it's going here. Trinity Baptist last year was, when we were playing against them in this same fixture last year, they were the defending national champions for the NCCAA, and we can see a very different landscape here tonight. The Eagles now ranked number 1, them ranked number 6. We can see that difference reflected in the scoreline. But really, some progress from the Eagles. It's easy to look at the last 2 games that the Eagles played, 2 losses, but they were playing against teams that are not in their conference, that are excellent teams, and so you have to, they're trying to choose stronger opponents to play against. Great work out on the wing, but not quite the pass to match, and a handball is called there on Mark as there'll be a free kick for Trinity Baptist.
Yeah, and one advantage of teams that we have played is I know at least Faulkner University. I'm not sure about the other college we played, but they a lot of their players, if not all of them, are on scholarships. We don't have athletic scholarships at least here for the players, so they're able to control them a little bit more, like on nutrition and the restrictions when they're on the scholarship. There's maybe a little bit more motivation there because you don't want to lose a scholarship. But the fact that we've been able to hold on to those games with them, 3-1 against a school that's all scholarships and versus one that's no scholarships, that's something to be proud of. Going into halftime tied and leading in one of those games is something great to be proud of.
Right. I think, that's just something we have to keep in mind this year is that, teams that we crushed last year, we're not interested in games where we're going to be winning 9-0. We're trying to pick out some top quality opponents, and that's, you can see that in playing against Point University and Faulkner University. An opportunity here for number 21, but kind of snatched at it, just a little too anxious. You can see from a younger player, maybe you can be forgiven that for sure. Need to just take a breath, calm down when you have lots of space, and then it's also up to your teammates in that position. They have to tell you, you might have all the time in the world, but if you're not told that, that's a difficult place to be in.
Number 23, Octavio Amaro, coming in before that last batch that played for the Pensacola Christian College Eagles.
See Juan Grimaldo coming in, Taylor Jensen coming out, making an incredible save, and really a difficult call there. You'd lean towards the fact that you thought that was offsides. Jeff Thompson, the defender there, was making no mistake. He knew exactly what he was doing. He stepped forward, and sometimes you can misjudge things, but you could see from his face that he certainly thought, that it was offsides, that he played the offsides trap correctly. So great work by Taylor Jensen, stopping, one-on-one. Really, top-class keeper here for the Eagles.
Yeah, and I don't know how many times we can sing the praise of Taylor Jensen. It seems like every game he makes 4 or 5 incredible saves. And most of the time, looking at your keeper, you may only need to ask one incredible save per game with them. Taylor Jensen comes through multiple times a game, making saves that really the other team and opposition should have turned into goals. A little bit of a through ball here on attack, defense. A little late, but is able to take care of it. And we have an opportunity to attack here with 20 seconds left. See if we can't get a 5th one here before the time runs out.
Coming across to number 22, an opportunity to shoot, and he does. Maybe perhaps just to take a couple more seconds. 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6. As the game winds down, really encouraging night for the PCC Eagles. Almost a flawless performance by them. From the goalkeeper, Taylor Jensen, to the freshman that played, everybody putting it in the back of the net. 4-0 tonight. Really a great night for the PCC Eagles. We thank you for joining us tonight. Again, up in the commentary box, it's Eric Flanagan with Tyler Ebert. Thanks for joining us. We hope you'll join us again for our next home game for the Eagles. Have a great night.